I can't see anything.
You just see me.
Yeah, I just see you at this time. We are live, currently live right now. Just gonna see if somebody come on, give people
Okay.
plenty of time.
All right.
I'm just gonna say,
Sounds good. We'll give them a minute, huh?
yeah, because sometimes it just takes a while
Okay.
for everybody to come on. I mean, somehow for Facebook, YouTube to reach out to everybody.
That makes sense.
So
All right.
yeah. Hmm. So it is. It's not. I'm glad it's not chilly out there.
Oh, it's not. And I'm not so glad because I want it to be a little chilly. Not like some people in the northern states are experiencing, but I would love for it to be just a little colder.
Yeah.
You know, we get a cold night and then it's a warm one and it's cold one, and so it bounces back and
Yeah,
forth. We
that
have
is
the real up and
true.
down effect.
I see two people on. If you just let us know, welcome everyone. Let us know where you're tuning in from. You're welcome, Joy and Music. Thanks for hosting this meeting. I'm excited. So come on in. Let us know where you're from. Both of us, we're from Texas. So let us know where you're tuning into. Just go ahead and put in the comment section.
Yes.
Trying to give everybody a little bit of time before we start.
Okay.
Okay, so Joy Music, Alabama, welcome. Thank you so much for taking out your time to join us on this wonderful Friday. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. If you know somebody that needs to be here, make sure you go ahead. Anna, Texas. Okay, we have another person from Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Sherwood, welcome. Come on in.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I want to start off introducing myself. My name is Thressa Sweat, and I just want to just take you down just a little bit of memory lane. I've been on YouTube for 3 years. I have run my Facebook page and Facebook group. And to tell you a little bit about myself, I have been working from home ever since 2007. I've done customer service. I've done data entry, accounting jobs. I've done all of that. So in 2019, I decided to start my YouTube channel because I always wanted to know what my purpose is. My purpose is to always help people, and I found helping people find legitimate working home jobs is where I need to be. And on this channel, I bring to you nothing but non-phone working home job leads that go out every single day at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Plus, I do also bring positive vibes into the community because it's so much negative going on. People need encouragement words like to keep pushing, keep applying. There is a job out there with your name on it, but you can't give up. So that is what I bring. And I talk about having a backup plan. And I have Debra Swisher. She's been on here before. In the past, like in September, I was kind of nervous to ask her about coming on because I didn't know what she was going to say. But somebody
Best
said,
thing you've ever done.
ask her. You never know what can happen. And I'm bringing back Debra H. Swisher. She is a certified professional coder. She is an instructor. She has over 30 years of experience in the teaching. She knows everything about coding. She has trained doctors, nurses, and she can train you to get you to where you need to be. So all you need to do is take the tools that she teaches you and build your empire. So I'm going to take out the time to let Debra H. Swisher introduce herself. And again, welcome everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. If you're watching the replay, I would like for you to put hashtag replay and also leave your comments. So we're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay. Thank you so much, Thressa. And I'm so eternally grateful for you having asked me the first time. And I'm most grateful. I'm most grateful to be here now. I'm grateful to be here this evening. And I'm so happy to have all of you all that have signed on, all of you all that are here and listening and wanting to know more about medical billing and coding. I am too happy and honored to be able to present to you all of the information about my course, the information about myself, the history, and all of those types of things. I will be glad to tell you that. and I will answer any questions that you might have. But if you would, I would like to go through the presentation that I prepared for you, and I'd like to give you all of that information and show you everything. And then as we move forth, and once that's done, I would love to answer any of the questions that you have, any of the comments that you'd like to make, or anything of that sort. Or if you need me to repeat something or say it again, by all means, know that I'm happy and willing to do that. I am Debra Swisher. I am a CPC. I've been a CPC since 2003. I have been teaching for 35 years now, since August of 1988. And it has been, instruction includes teaching doctors, nursing, allied healthcare workers, and lay individuals. I have 37 years of coding. I started coding in 1985, and it was a experience where I started out in anesthesia, and I am now, since that time, I've coded every entity of medicine that you can think of. So all fields have been covered. I am the future for 2023, the education officer for my local chapter in Houston, the Houston AAPC chapter. I'm the education officer for year 2023. I am a unique but comprehensive course. This is a small course. It doesn't take forever. It's only a 5-month course. And during this time, it's intense though, but we enjoy ourselves. We have fun. We do things in a very nice, easy manner. It does not have to be crammed and pushed, and there doesn't have to be any fear of, rejection or I'm not making it or whatever. Medical terminology is taught, stressed throughout the entire course. Anatomy and physiology, human anatomy and physiology is most important to you learning this particular phase of medicine, and any phase of medicine actually. Diagnostic coding, which is ICD-10. That is what we'll talk about after we've done talking about, and we won't be done. We'll keep adding in medical terminology and anatomy, physiology, but we'll spend the first, few weeks talking about that exclusively. And then from ICD-10, we'll talk about CPT, which is provider coding. From there, we will talk about HIPAA coding, which covers supplies and materials, injections, and things of that sort. We will also cover medical insurance, and we will cover compliance. So those are some of the things. And then on the next slide, we're going to tell you about what we'll do. And I'm just going to say, I'm honored to have the privilege of instructing participants on the recognition of medical terms, how to use them effectively, how to apply them to everyday medical problems and solutions in order that you can achieve the optimal amount of reimbursement legally. I have different course times, and they are arranged at a different time during the course so that you can exchange your scheduled time by attending another course at another time within the same week if your regularly scheduled time is not working for you. If it's not good for you this week, then you can move that and go to, for instance, we have classes on Monday, Tuesday night from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Classes go from Wednesday through Thursday night from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And in the mornings on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. If you're scheduled for any class that you choose that you want to be scheduled for, and for some reason you can't make it, let's say you're the Monday, Tuesday person, and you cannot make it on Tuesday. So you can come on Monday, and then you can attend Thursday's class. That way you have still gotten everything that you would have gotten on Monday, Tuesday. And I've done that and arranged it such that that would make it easy and convenient for you so that you could be able to not miss any beats. You can attend any class, other classes. You're not obligated to just go to one. If you want to go to both of yours and then both of the next one, you're free to do that. And the good thing is that I'm going to add up all of that time. Every time that you spend, all of the time you spend in any of the classes is credited towards your education. Once you are done with that, the largest national recording and credentialing agency, which is American Academy of Professional Coders, or AAPC, they will honor you once you become certified. You don't have to have the A for the apprenticeship attached. if you have, I believe it's 200 plus hours, and that may not be correct because this class at this time offers 126. But for some of those students that want to repeat it, you will get a certificate of completion showing that you have now cumulative hours with the 126 plus whatever hours you have gained during the next course. So all of that helps you so that you can be in a better position to start coding and getting the positions that you so desire. And for most of us, we'd like to be working from our homes. We'd like to do remote coding. Some people do not, but we will show you and talk about all of them. And if there are any positions available in any areas, we'll discuss those as well. My teaching style is unique. It's unparalleled by another instructor. It includes a vast knowledge of medical terminology, human anatomy and physiology, encompassing all aspects of human health care with common sense approaches to resolutions in medical coding and billing. In addition, my instruction is filled with real lifetime stories and case scenarios, as well as actual personal and professional accounts of coding and billing examples. Altogether, these factors lead to my ultimate goal for each participant, and that is excellence in the field of coding and billing. It's not good enough to be just good at it. You want to be outstanding. You want to be above reproach and exceptional. You want to be a cut above the rest. If you come to me with a strong will, I'm here to make you a way. For where there is a will, there's definitely a way. You don't have to have any prior experience in order to participate in this course. And anyone that is from age 17 and up is welcome to participate in the course. So I want you all to know that you can all come in. The first book that we're going to use, and one that's most valuable, one that you'll probably need to keep, well, I will definitely suggest that you keep it forever. And this is called The Language of Medicine by Davy Ellen Chandler. I have chosen the 11th edition. They do have a 12th edition now. The reason I did not choose that one, there's nothing wrong with it. It has updated information on probably medication, different types of methodologies and things. But basically, I use the language of medicine to teach you medical terminology and human anatomy and physiology. That hasn't changed. So with the medical terminology, you're going to learn definitions, root words, prefixes, suffixes, and combining forms. You're going to learn medical abbreviations, word structure. With anatomy and physiology, we're going to talk about body systems and the functions of those body systems. For example, the musculoskeletal system, the bones, the joints, and the muscles, and how they connect and how they work and cause our bodies to function. Or if there's a problem, to not function properly. And then when you look at the system in another aspect, we also talk about behavioral medicine, psychiatry, mental and psychosocial disorders, how you're going to code them, and things you need to be aware of when you're coding. We will look at the construction of the human body, the function, the problems associated, and the resolutions or the evaluations that go with it. Again, I have chosen the 11th edition because it's much cheaper. It's an older book and it's cheaper. The 12th one is out there. The 12th one should cost you a little over $100. You can find the 11th edition usually for $20 to $40. If you do your research somewhere, you can usually get it a whole lot cheaper. So that's why we're going with that one, just to save you the cost of having to pay extra money for relatively the same information. Now, the next book that we're looking at, once we've covered that, is called Diagnostic Coding. That's ICD-10. ICD-10, CM stands for International Classification of Diseases. The 10th revision, clinical modification. What this means is that these codes can be used from nation to nation to classify diseases in all areas, any type of problem, any type of thing. We use it when we're looking for reimbursement from a third-party payer. You have to be able to answer why was this medical help being sought? What is the problem? In other words, the two major words is medical necessity. They need to know that why was it medically necessary for you to seek help? And so we need to be able to identify that with ICD-10. We're going to prioritize and optimize our codes. It's not good enough to just identify them. You have to be able to identify them with your order It has to be in a reimbursement order. You don't want to put the one that is not as critical in the top place. You want to put the most critical one in your top place, and so on and so forth. We're going to identify problems with this book. Problems like if a person has RSV, which is, a big thing now. Due to our lockdown and shut up for so long, now that we're out mixing and mingling, we're starting to see a lot of communicable diseases raise their ugly heads. One of those is respiratory syncytial virus, which is RSV. Shortness of breath is a very common thing. Dysfunctional uterine bleeding. CVA is for stroke. Any time of accidents or injuries, like when people break their bones, fractures, when we're going to get a vaccination for COVID or the flu, all of those things you will find in this book. This is ICD-10. We're going to identify any problems or any need for medical services or procedures. That's from ICD-10. The next book that we're going to use is called the CPT book. They've made many changes this year. So this year, you're going to see, unlike any other year, and for you that have never seen it before, it won't matter to you. You'll just go with the changes that you have. But the many changes have been, they have approximately 390 something changes in the book. They have a lot of new codes that they've added, 225 of them. 75 of the codes they had in the past were deleted. They have 93 of them. They revised the words. But the whole purpose of this book is to explain what was done and by whom. The question has to tell us why it was done. We are going to prioritize and optimize the reimbursement by using the proper code from your CPT. This is in order to get the provider, the physician, or whoever provided the service for you, to get that person paid. That's what this is about. We are identifying services and procedures. These would be the solutions to the book that talked about problems earlier. For example, when you go to the doctor's office, when you show up in the emergency room or urgency care, when there are surgical interventions, when there are prophylactic procedures, preventative care, administration of anesthesia, when psychotherapy is done, be it a group or an individual, if there are x-rays, MRIs, CAT scans, if we take blood and body fluid examinations, any type of reproductive care, the provider would bill from this book. And we're going to learn how to be very efficient in billing from CPT. Now, for the last book that we're going to be looking at, this book is called HIPAA book. We use the acronym and we pronounce it HIPAA. It stands for Healthcare Procedural Coding System. This is your level 2 Medicare codes. You're coding for medical supplies, for materials, for injections, and other services and procedures that are not reported by CPT. Things like medical beds, wheelchairs, crutches, medication, injection type medication, CPAP machines, equipment, breast pumps, surgical boots, if you have to have casts or slings, oxygen tanks. When we're billing for ambulance services, be it air or ground, dental procedures and their supplies, any type of rehabilitative procedures or habilitative procedures, those kinds of things, you will find them in this HIPAA book. And that's one thing that we'll talk about for that, for supplies. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to discuss medical insurance in this class. We're going to talk about medical insurance and compliance. We're going to talk about the terminology that's involved with coverage, like what the difference is between the terms pre-authorization, verification, predetermination, exclusions, etc. We have types of medical insurance, HMOs, PPOs, different types like that, IPAs. Third-party payers. We're going to discuss Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna, all of these, including workers' compensation. We'll discuss the rules and the regulations for submission of a claim. Those national and local regulatory agencies that you need to submit and what you need to do in order to make sure that the rules are met and that you are doing everything fair, legally, and above board. And then we're also going to talk about anesthesia. I'm going to explain to you how to code anesthesia, how to recognize base units, time units, qualifying circumstances, and how to add those things up or do whatever mathematical equations you need to do in order to get through anesthesia. Anesthesia in and of itself is not difficult to code. It is the equation part of it that becomes tedious. And you have to make sure that you have all of the units in order. All of the qualifying circumstances need to be identified, all of those kinds of things. Physical status modifiers. You need to identify all of that in anesthesia. And we're also going to talk about HIPAA and the compliance laws. Nowadays, more than ever, you need to know people that are in billing, and usually it's not coders, it's usually physicians. The government, like anybody else, they want to go for the fat cow. And the fat cow is going to be the person that owns the business or the person that's the head of the business, usually the physician or whomever. They want you to bill properly. And sometimes we don't. We tend to be slow in doing that. We don't do as we should. And so when that happens, there are oftentimes people think that they are gotten away with something because the government didn't come and get them within 6 months, maybe within a year. It may take you up to 4 or 5 years. But although the wheels of justice turn slowly, you need to know that they surely do turn. And they will come. So compliance has become very important. There are many regulatory agencies out now, many, many more, and every year they're bringing out more. You need to know about them. You need to know how they operate, what they do, about the HIPAA law, the part that we know, and you need to know about the mega rule that goes with the HIPAA law and the expansion of the HIPAA law and what that includes. So all of those things we will discuss in the class. And the next thing we'll do at the end of the class, we'll have a mock exam. And notice the thing says, keep calm, it's only a mock exam. These exams are optional. They have no bearing on your ability to pass or to not to pass my course. The exams have no effect on your final grade in the course. They are only presented to assist you in gauging your preparedness so that you can test for the National AAPC certification exam, which would be the CPC exam. So you don't have to take this. You don't have to do the mock exams at the end. It is your call. You don't have to. But I suggest that you do it so that you know yourself where you're at and how well it's working for you. So that would be it. Now let's get to another part. I'm sure by now we have many a question about this. We'll talk about this. The cost of the course. The January 2023 tuition is going to remain as it has in this past tuition session because of the COVID era. And we're not completely over this, and we could still use the break. And I say, why not? So the tuition rate for all of my students remains phenomenally low at the price of only $1,000. For all former students, if you're looking for a refresher, you're only paying half of that. That's $500. The regular tuition rate goes anywhere from $1,200 on the low end to $2,399 on the upper end. So you have an ultimate savings of 75%. Your tuition can be paid in one lump sum or up to 3 installments. I have frequently asked question that's always asked to me, how can you offer a course at this price where there are local in classroom, virtual schools, groups, technology, whatever, as well as online programs, those that cost as much as $20,000, some of them more? My answer to that is, as an experienced instructor and a coder of 30 plus years, I know what it takes to get you up and running in this career without having to rip you off, leaving you with massive student debt and an inability to properly equip yourself for the medical billing and coding workplace. With my unsurpassed record of vast experience and expertise, I can provide you with the specific tools and the knowledge that you need for success while helping you to stay financially solvent during and after the course. We don't have to take that much money from you in order to train you and to train you exceedingly well. And we'll have fun doing so. 2 or more installment payments will be asserted. And if they're assessed as an additional thing, if you want to do that, you can do that. But there is a one-time processing fee of $50 added in addition to that $1,000 fee. So with Plan A, you can have 2 installments where you pay $525 for each one of them, usually within 30 days from the time that you made the initial one. And with Plan 3, you can do up to 3 installments, and you'll have an initial payment of $350, followed by your second and third payments of $350, both done within 30-day increments. Payments can be submitted via Zelle or via Cash App using my cell phone number, which is shown here. It's 832-289-6277. You have other acceptable forms of payment. They include all major credit cards, cashier's checks, money orders. Personal checks we don't do. But if you want further information and if you'd like to have registration information, then by all means, feel free to email me and I'll be happy to send that information to you. You would email me at Debra_Swisher at sbcglobal.net. And now, let's see, what else would we like to tell you? Looking forward to having you all join me for that week. We're going to start the new classes during the week of January the 9th. And the registration has already begun for that. That started during the first week of November. And we do it on a first come, first served basis for day or evening course times, whichever you'd like to choose. I thank you so much for listening, but I'm not going anywhere because I am here for you and whatever questions, comments, or concerns that you might have. I'll be happy to answer and address them.
Okay.
Thank you, Thressa.
You're welcome, Deborah. Any questions? If you have any questions, let me scroll up and see. Make sure you put them in the comment section. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, here is one question here.
Do we have other jobs for the Philippines? Yes, that they do have jobs for the Philippines, plenty of them. And they have, even AAPC has a corporate sector in the Philippines. So we have jobs all over the place, actually all over the world. So yes, there are some. There are jobs, plenty of them. Yes.
And then this is another question here.
What edition did I say for the CP? For you're talking the language of medicine? If you're talking the language of medicine, you can use the 11th edition. The reason I've chosen the 11th edition is because it's about $80 cheaper to maybe even $100 cheaper than the edition would cost for the brand new one. And when we're talking about the human anatomy and physiology and medical terminology, it is the same. So that's why I've said you could use the 11th edition of the language of medicine. When you're talking about your coding manuals, ICD-10, CPT, and HIPAA, you need to have the current year's manuals for all of those. That's why we said 2023. And I do have a person that you can get with. And once you register with me, you can go through the person at PMIC and you will get a 30% discount just because you're in my class. And you will get this discount and you won't have to pay the full price for the books. You'll get that in the bundle for the cheaper price. But I would not advise that you buy the language of medicine there because you can get it cheaper online, let's say Amazon or some other, bookstore or something like that. But for the language, for the PMIC books, you can get them cheaper from their publishers.
Okay, here's another question here.
Oh, what are my passing success rates? I would say if I have a class of 10 people, at least 8 of them have passed. And if we're talking whether or not they've taken exams, I maintain a list, and I've maintained it since year 2000, that shows all of my students that have gone and been certified. They've gotten certified through one agency or another, most of them through AAPC. And that list is ongoing. It's very, very long, and I keep it just for anybody that wants to know. And right now it appears to be about a dozen pages thick, like so. And those are the people that are passing after they have had my course, and they have been, because I can teach them exactly what they need to know in order to get there and to be successful. I do it. The difference again in my teaching is not only do I teach it, I am also a medical coder. I have taught many people from many walks of life, physicians, nurses, whomever. And so that makes me have firsthand knowledge as to what you need, how you need it, and how you can get it done legally, above board, and efficiently.
Okay, here's another one here.
No, When you pay the $1,000 tuition, you're not paying for your books. Your books are at a separate cost, Don. And that's why you're going to go through. The tuition is just for the tuition. It's for your teaching and the information that I'm going to provide you with and the paperwork and all of that type of thing. You have an older edition of the Language of Medicine? Yes, it's acceptable. I certainly will take it, Don. Because again, human body hadn't changed. It's the same thing. So yeah, you could use it. Yes. With Michelle. All right. How many of your students were able to work from home starting out, or did they have to work in house for a while? Some of them worked in the house, some of them started working out. I would say probably 50-50. It depends on where they're at, the region of the country that they're living in, and the type of job they sought. Some of them had jobs waiting for them before the classes were even over. So that depends a lot on the subject and your location. Okay, Michelle. Can you explain the coding hours versus the CPCA removal again? Oh, be happy to. Okay. When you take a course, from my understanding with AAPC, and I can check again to verify, but my last understanding was this. When you can, they require that you have a minimum of 80 hours in order to sit for that exam. If you don't have a minimum of 80 hours, you can also sit for the exam if you have a supervisor's note that says you have at least 2 hours. It has to be written on a letterhead, company letterhead, that says that you have at least 2, and not 2 hours, I didn't mean to say hours, 2 years of experience in coding. If you don't have that, then your education has to be a minimum of 80. If it is over 100, then you can have the A, which is for an apprenticeship, dropped within 1 year. If you have over 200 hours, 200 or more, you can have no A from the beginning. When you first pass your exam, you can just be CPC, as I am, with not any apprenticeship or anything attached to it. So that's the rule for that. And what I have offered for the people that I've already educated, if they want to come back, we give them a cumulative total on their certificate of completion that shows they have 120 hours plus, or 126 hours plus, however many hours they required in the same classes that they've taken since their initial class, provided that initial class wasn't something like 10 years ago. If it was that long ago, then you probably need to, start with the fresh information, because since 2015, we've went from ICD-9 to ICD-10. So anything you learned prior to 2015 would not be very applicable to what we're doing now. Hopefully that helped. With Cheryl, can you explain, after we take your course and pass the CPC exam, how do we get a job in billing and coding when most jobs want 3+, you mean years of experience? You said 3+ experience. Yes, a lot of them certainly do. And that's in any job. That's anywhere you go. You can have a 4-year college course diploma, or graduate, and you can have anything like that. You can be a graduate student, you can have a master's. They will always ask you for experience. That's something you're going to hear no matter what you take, no matter what field you're in. They will ask you for that. What I will say to you is that I get offers because I've been doing this for so long. People offer me places to put my students. I don't get those every day. I don't know when they're coming, nor do I know how much I'm going to get. So I never promise anyone job placement, because that would be just a hype, an untruth, just to make somebody come along. But once I get those offers, I pass them to the students and I let you know. So I will help you get jobs whenever and however I can. But again, I do not promise no job.
And Deborah, like if they're taking the CPC exam, could they get into like insurance verification or like billing in order to get the experience? And
Exactly right. I had a lady do that just yesterday. She told me that story. Yes, indeed. You certainly can. You can do insurance verifications. You can do the billing parts. You can do the data entry part. You can do any of those parts if you're trying to work into that position. You're absolutely right. Yes. Okay, I just took a course and will be happy taking my exam on the 7th. Oh, yes, taking your. Okay, yes, marvelous. I don't know who this Facebook user is, but all righty, good. Congrats. All right. I've coded previously using your old ICD-9 system. Will it be difficult to transition to ICD-10? Also, will you also teach from the ICD-11? No, we will not teach from ICD-11 until ICD-11 has become law. It is now law. It has not been passed by Congress yet as the official law of the land for your diagnostic coding. And when it does become that, then we will immediately start teaching that. But we're not going to do that until that has become law. We will teach ICD-10. And the transition from ICD-9, if you understood ICD-9, then ICD-10 just makes it clearer. It won't be much more difficult for you to do. So I'll be happy to do that. And yes, I do know what you mean by going from the old ICD-9 and to the 10, which is much more in depth. We'll be glad to do that. Would Practicode be necessary after taking the exam? No. No, you don't have to do that. No, once you take the exam, you pass the exam, you can go right into whatever it is you want to go. And Practicode is not something that you have to have. No.
Any more questions? Let me see here. Here's another one.
Okay, what's the average age of your students? Oh, wow. You're in your 50s, and there's so much ageism in my career. So let me just tell you, my youngest student that I've ever had in my life was 17. The oldest student that I've ever had in my life was 75. The average student in my class, they're usually between 25 and 40 years of age. So it has no bearing. Some jobs are looking for people that are older because they have stated to me that they feel that older people are more dedicated, they are more loyal, they are more reliable. They will come to work and do the job. And other people say they want a younger person because they think younger people can, do it faster or, catch on quicker or whatever their thought processes are. But that depends on where you land, where you're trying to seek your employment, and how that person, whomever's running that particular aspect of it, how they see it. Some people want younger people, some people want older people. And nowadays, the trend is definitely for we want people that are a little bit older because we figure they're going to stick with it. It's hard to have somebody hired, train them, and get them ready to do a job, and then they spend maybe a month or two on that job and they disappear. You've got to start over again. So they would rather have somebody be, stable and stay with them. But again, that's one company say. Somebody else maybe say, oh, bring all the people that are under 35. Just depends. But in your 50s, please don't worry. I'm 63. No problem. You've already taken a course in medical coding. Can you take your $500 course? You didn't pass your CPC exam. Cheryl, do call me or do send me an email. Yes, we can talk about it. We certainly can. Do that. Yes.
Any other questions at all? I mean, I would like to say, a lot of people have been to universities or trade schools and college, and they try to get a degree and they come out and they don't have the experience because when they go out there and apply for jobs, they're being rejected. And then they go back to school and try to get another degree versus with Debra Swisher's course, you're only spending 6 months. And is that correct? 6 months?
Actually, again, less than that, 5 months, really. And sometimes it's 6, depending on the inclement weather or, holiday seasons or whatever. Yes. But you're right. Within 6 months, you should be complete.
And it's very affordable. You don't have to take out any loans versus I know people that just graduated probably about 12 years ago in a university and they're still making payments. I mean, taking loans and everything like that. And with her course, you don't have to take out no loans. I mean, she's working something out, for you. So, you have to stop procrastinating and just take action right now because a lot of people that are moving up are risk takers. So if this is something that you want to do, you just need to go ahead and sign up today so you can have multiple streams of income. I believe in 8. So you need to have, because these jobs, everybody know that they're not
Right.
promised.
It's
You can go
guaranteed.
in today and they let you go. Too many times people just get so complacent, like they give you gift cards and baskets just to keep you there. And in their mind, like people know, these companies know 2 years in advance that they get ready to let you go. And a lot of people say, well, they love me. And it's people that reach out to me that have been at a company for 30 years and they are let go and they just don't know what to do. So I'm just telling y'all, you need to have a backup plan, have some kind of backup plan, be a certified professional coder, do something else,
Yes,
because you just never know what can happen.
that's for sure. Thank you so much, Thressa.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's right, Denise. It is so true. We know,
Yeah.
and especially me, because I'm, like I said, 63. I definitely know.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Another
You
question.
took medical coding and billing course with another school. Your exam was taken with NHA for CBCS. When you took the test, no books were allowed. What? They've changed it with NHA so that you can use your books at the testing site. What's the difference with the CBCS? I would never have taken that. Oh my God, I feel sorry for you, KM Allen. I don't know how you could take a coding test without your coding manuals. You have to have the book. You've seen this coding book. I showed you the cover, but here's the book. How can you take a test and not be able to look up the diagnostic code? This book is huge. Certainly, you're not supposed to be remembering all of this. You're not supposed to have all of this in your brain. You're supposed to know how to reference it and find it when you need it. Then you have the other book where we're going to pay the physician. We're going to make sure the provider gets paid. Look at that. How could you take an exam if they're asking you about medical codes and medical billing? How could they give you that and not have you take an exam? If you take an exam from AAPC, you have to have a book, and they will allow you to have 3 books. And that's going to be your ICD-10, your CPT, and your HIPAA book. You have to have them to reference, and in order to locate the codes. If you take an exam from a HEMA, you're going to have the books. Those are your 2 largest accrediting agencies. I don't know how you were, unless they didn't ask you any coding questions, because you definitely need to be able to reference the manuals in order to do it. Whew, well, that was very good. You missed by 30 points with no book, huh? Whew, that meant you were pretty much on it. Imagine if you'd had a book, you would have aced it. So that's just wow. You should have done a whole lot better if you had a book. Wow. It's kind of like you took the test blindly. It's kind of like you were like blindfolded going through it. Oh my God. Okay. I've also taken a medical coding course with the 500 tuition be only for those who have taken your specific course or another course, sat for the exam and failed. That $500 are for those people that have taken my course because I know what they have had. And I know but if you are looking for some type of help or assistance, or you still want to get it, contact me and we will talk. We will talk about it. I'm not saying to you, absolutely not. But I am telling you that it was originally designed for those students of mine that wanted to come back and add to their time that they've spent in their education. And so that when they did take the exam, they would be, because a lot of times people will take a class and they don't go for whatever reason and take the exam. And time passes and then time passes. And before they know it, a couple of years have passed. And so they come back and say, oh, before I go and sit, I'd like to do a refresher. So they come back and they want to come and do the refresher. And that's how they wound up with that. All right. But yes, do contact me. Thank you. Yeah, Alan. Yes. Anybody else have any questions or comments or anything?
Debra, like if they're doing medical billing and coding from home, like how can they handle, you're working with sensitive information like patient social security number. How can they, I guess, handle HIPAA working from in the comfort of their own home? During
Oh,
this.
you want to make sure that you have areas that protect those patients' privacy, the patient's rights. You want to make sure that your computer is equipped in order to do that. You want to make, and the company that hires you or people that do that with reputable sources, they're going to check out your surroundings and your facility to make sure that your facility can accommodate their needs and it can take care of the clients, protect their privacy. So those kinds of things, yes, they're going to check that beforehand. No one's going to just give you their finances or a patient's information and allow you to just willy-nilly it and say, oh, I'm just going to do this however I'd like, whenever I'd like. That's usually not the case. Not going to happen that way. So yes, they're going to check you first and make sure. And by all means, for you all that have further questions or whatever, I will not be able to answer you tonight and probably will not be able to answer the emails, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. And so that you will have the answer. And the registration for the class is ongoing and it is on a first come, first serve basis. And you are, by all means, welcome to join us. We'd love to have you there. I'd be honored to have you there. So know that. And if you email me at the email address that's shown on the screen, then I will send you all of the information you need to have the comprehensive information on the course, much of you seen on the screen already today. And I will also send you information of a registration form so that you can get yourselves registered and we can get you up. And I do want you to know that although we talked about a lot of information and a lot of things, we have lots of fun in our classes. I don't believe in stiff classes. I don't believe in you can't ask questions. The only reason I said that tonight about let's wait until the end is because I wanted to be able to get through with the presentation. But in my classes, you can ask questions anytime you want, anything you want. If you want to ask something personal, you want to ask me questions, feel free. You can do that. It's not, we have fun. We have a good time. I want you to be relaxed. I want you to feel at ease. And I believe that that makes a person learn better. If you are at ease, anything that you want to know about me personally, anything, why is some of your hair gray and the other parts are white? And what the hell happened in a few little black pieces? And what size shoes do you wear? And how fat are you? And oh God, how long have you been married? Or whatever. I believe if you get questions out of the way, it will definitely help you to be able to learn better. You spoke with me on the phone a few days ago and you appreciate the transparency. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. That will be all the time. God bless. Every time. And that's the way it should be. It just makes it easier. It makes the whole transition and the whole learning process easier. So I want that to be easy for everybody that crosses my path. Okay.
Okay. If it's not any other questions, you know that you can always go back into the YouTube video and you can leave your questions and we'll go ahead and answer. But I would just like to personally thank each and every one of you for tuning in and hearing Debra Swisher giving you information about medical billing and coding. Just remember, you have to go ahead and take action today. Don't procrastinate. If this is something you want to do, if you have a niece or a cousin that's 17 years or older, she will work with them too as well. But go ahead and take action today. Okay. Have a backup plan. Again, thank you so much for taking out your time. We'll see you in the next video. Thank y'all, everyone.
We thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm honored to have been here and to be able to present to you today. Thank you so much. And thank you, Thressa.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.